We have our 5032 IO link module from Rockwell Automation mounted, and we have our first two devices connected to it. And I thought this was a good time to stop and talk about how we're going to configure this in Studio 5000, mainly because we have an Allen Bradley distance sensor, and we have a third-party Banner IO stack light, and that really shows some of the cool advantage of this 5032. We're going to start in a new copy of Studio 5000, and in this case, I'm using a 5069 L306 ERS2, but this works with all of them. Then under IO configuration, find your Ethernet port that you're using. Let's right-click it, new module, and we're going to type 5032-8IO-LM12M12. And there you go. That's going to leave you with one of them left. So we're going to select that one and hit create. And this is going to be our IO link. Its IP address is going to be 192.168.20.86. And then notice by default, all of your channels are assigned to be digital inputs. Well, we're going to use both of these for IO links. We're going to hit the change button, and then the port number is the physical port number. And then we have the channel number. So channel 0 on ours is going to be an IO link, and channel 8 here is also going to be an IO link. And we're going to click OK to that. Going to give us a little bit of a warning, and then we're going to click OK to that. So that, notice, and here's the only thing, and I don't know if you watch many of my videos, I'm going to struggle a little bit to talk us through this for a while, is, these yellow boxes, they've always kind of been the networking thing. This tells us, this tells us that we're out on a network. This tells us we're out on a network, and it's always been universal. Well, we choose the icon. This means we're out on an IO link network here. And so we need to add some devices on this. So we're going to right click and new module. And now the modules that you're seeing here are IO link enabled modules that you have in Studio 5000. And we're going to start with the Allen Bradley one because that is the easier one. And this is a 45 DMS. And there you go. It is this photoelectric distance measurement sensor. We're going to select it and we're going to hit create. And this is going to be our distance sensor. Now, very tricky right here. First of all, notice only the ones that you've selected IO link on actually are capable, are available for selection. This is port 8. It's the one I plugged it into. So I know we need to do 0, but we're going to do port 8 first. And then we're going to click OK. And this may be where all of a sudden, if you're doing a little bit more, if you do a little more on the front end, the IO link can get really cool, because on your typical IO link, your name's going to be IO link, and then we're really either using some add-on instructions or some creative programming. But I always tell you in the videos that if you have a networking thing, you have a name, you have a tag associated with a name with what's inside of this. So we named this distance sensor. If we get our controller tags here, we have distance sensor :I. And in there, we have very readable descriptions for this. So it's going to be really cool. Now, Rockwell does not actually put all the IO link drivers in the world out there. They only put the ones for their product. So here's where it used to, and really I was surprised at this. Used to, we'd be into some generic module, but no, we're going to go to Banner Engineering's website. So we're going to open up a tab in our web browser, and we're just going to go to Banner Engineering, and we have a K50L2. And that should narrow us down a good amount. Well, it didn't quite narrow us down, but we have a K50L2 RGB KAL1Q. There's the one we have. We're going to go into that. This is the IO link version of it. And if we scroll down a little bit here and we open up the downloads, then we have the K50 Pro L2 IO link AOIs. And we're going to download that. Once you get that downloaded, go ahead and extract it, and you're going to find that there's some really intuitive instructions that'll take you right through installing that module. And after you do that, we can right-click IO link, new module, and incredibly, we can type K50, and there's our Easy Light under IO link. Now, this really blew my mind the first time I saw it. Is now we hit the Create button. I'm just going to type Smart Light, and notice this time we don't have an option. It is port 0 because that's the only one that's left. And we click OK and close. And now we have both our Smart Light and our distance sensor in Studio 5000. So now let's go ahead and download that program. And if you need any help downloading your program, or if you're like, hey, this is way too advanced video for where I'm at in my learning journey, then look down the description. We have a course that'll walk you through everything. And also go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We put out at least one video a week. And the most important thing we hope we see is we have a solid IO light up here. Now, typically for our IO link, that means that this 5032 module is okay. But now let me go unplug our banner smart light, which is a third-party device. And we get our IO not responding light up here. And this isn't saying IO is not responding on the 5032. This tells us down to the port where we have the issue. And what I really love is Rockwell has kept the documentation exactly the same. Actually, I think they've kept the exact same since the MicroLogix PLCs. If we go to the connection tab, then we have error code 204, connection request error, connection request timed out. And that'll be a really key troubleshooting feature later on in this machine's life. After that, if we go up to our controller tags, then we have our distance sensor, and we go to process data in. There is the distance in millimeters right there. And on our smart light colon O, even though it's a third-party device coming off of it, without any add-on instructions or anything, we can throw a color in here. That's going to change our color. We got our animation type. So I think that was a really good choice for this smart cell. If you haven't caught up on where we're at with the smart cell lately, then here's a playlist right here with some of our recent videos.